Hey guys, this is Punk bringing you a little video here today. So basically what I'm going to be showing you is how you're going to be able to get through both of the boss fights on the Beast from Beyond within Infinite Warfare Zombies. So I would highly recommend you getting a Mauler, Auger, or FHR and make sure that is double packed. That is going to be your top priority. If you have Director's Cut, it's going to be a lot easier to get. You can have some friends help you get some money, run it as a team however you want. This is going to work from 1 to 4 players. So once you are set up, you have your Kendalls, ideally, or a explosive weapon that's pretty easy to move with, and a nice LMG or a high fire rate gun, and basically just move on in. So you're going to come on in, it's going to start opening and pulling these rhinos out. You're just going to need to kill them one by one, spam them with your LMGs or fast firing gun. Explosive damage does not do a lot to these, so keep your Kendalls for just a minute, and we'll use those in just a second. So as you can see, these guys are pretty easy to kill. We're dropping them real quick with these Sentinels. The Mauler Sentinel is going to be the most useful weapon for this, so if you have extra salvage and you don't have it, make sure to try and buy that, because it's going to make this boss fight much easier for you and your friends. So as you can see, my friend ran out there. It's a different strategy, but my strategy is just a tad bit different. So you're going to run in here, you're just going to hang in here. I didn't have any Kendalls, and I've gotten to a point where I didn't feel like I needed the Kendalls, so I was just using my Mauler during this part. What you're going to do is you're just going to stand back against these walls and protect in front of you. Their first stage here just spawns the front portals and they will open up. A few will come from above like you just saw there. They'll run from the side and they come around. But they're pretty easy to kill, especially if you're using Kendalls and or the smaller Sentinel here. They go down pretty quick. So this will go on for 30 seconds or so, 15 to 30 seconds. I don't remember the exact time frame, but it's a pretty easy part to do. And as soon as this ends, you're going to want to just go ahead and grab some ammo, reload, make sure you're all set up again. And I can't stress enough, make sure you reload and get ammo as much as you can, but make sure you're doing it one at a time, calling out and being safe, because that's your biggest priority is teamwork on this boss fight. If you're running with a team, if you're running solo, just make sure you plan your best strat you can and you grab ammo when you really need it. Next, you're going to sit against this back wall here, and you're just going to watch in front of you. It's going to get a little tougher because you're going to have the Phantoms spawning in as well as the regular cryptids now, but not too hard and definitely manageable as long as your gun's set up and team know what's going on. So as soon as you get through this step, this one lasts 15 seconds, 30 seconds depending, and you're just going to move on to the hard step. The hard step is going to be a 2-stage step is really what it is. So first it's going to open up all the portals and you're just going to start following this train. This train will go on for, I want to say, about 30 seconds or so, maybe close to 45, and you're just going to need to run around until those screens you just saw me pass are going to turn on and light up. You're going to have more time in solo 2-player than you will in 3 or 4-player to activate those screens, and ideally in a solo game just run this same path, hit each screen as you go by and turn them off and it will stop them spawning. If you're doing 2-player, just have 1 player on one side and the player on the other side hit both screens on the other side and just do it that way. 3-player, everyone at a screen. 4-player, everyone but one person at a screen. Pretty easy, just needs to be done quicker the more players you have. Soon as those screens are done activated, it'll move you on to the next phase. You'll have 15 to 30 seconds as well again to get reloaded, get your ammo, and it's going to open up a screen. You're going to need to hold off for 99 seconds at this next part. I ideally recommend that you do not shoot unless you need to. So this part you're going to want to clear out all the rest of the rhinos and all the cryptids that spawn in during that last step. Pretty easy to do because you won't have any more spawning in. This screen will pop up here in just a second. You'll see behind me and it will start with 99 seconds and it'll count down. To make this easier, bring in a hide and seek. It makes it a little easier in case anything goes down, as well as Reanimated's a really great card for this, and Scratch Post will be great for the rhinos at the end. So basically you'll see I start to this path again. So there's going to be 2 points you're going to want to stop and turn around and shoot. So right when you go up this little hill there, you're going to want to stop, turn around and shoot the blue rhinos when they spawn in the next phase. So that way the fire will not spawn in there because it is not possible. And the same as when you just jump off there, you'll turn around and you'll shoot them when they come up over the top, because it's pretty easy to avoid the fire from when you're jumping over the top. Other than that, stray away from shooting them in halls and corridors where the fire that they drop will block you off and make it hard for you to be mobile. Basically, you're just going to run this same path for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long it takes you to get through those rhinos yourself. And just be extra careful where you're shooting them, because where you're shooting them is where they'll drop the fire. You can also go through the middle if you need to and make alternate routes, as well as up to the left there by the perks and shoot them down that long hall using the claw and other things like that. So just plan accordingly. As you start to get too much fire in certain areas, just go ahead and move your path just a little bit, and you should be able to get this your first try, guys. And that's going to be the first boss fight complete. So next you're going to just move on into the Super Easter Egg boss fight, where it's going to get definitely more tricky. So I'm sure most of you already know at this point that you're going to need to fill up these 5 talisman circles, ritual circles, to go ahead and charge each talisman, so then you can use them to attack the boss and destroy his barrier, kill him, etc. Whatever you want to refer to it as. So basically what I do during this step is I get one person in a ritual circle and have someone kind of close by in case they go down on the same side, and then your other players on the opposite side or other pillar side. Hiding behind the pillars for the player that will not be in the circle is ideal. It's going to make it a lot easier. So make sure you're staying safe and being careful. As you can see, I'll just demonstrate his moves. His first move there, you see when he moves right to left, he kind of pulls his shoulder in. He's going to throw fireballs, and those will 2 hit will red screen you, and 3rd hit will down you. So make sure you're being careful on those. The evade card comes in very handy if you're filling the circle and trying to avoid those, or even just hiding behind a pillar and trying to avoid them as well. So as you can see, his next move he's going to demonstrate here is going to be summoning. He just pulls fire upwards, and it is going to be showing that he is summoning some zombies. They're pretty easy to avoid. The next move there he's demonstrating is the black hole. So he makes a mimic black hole in his hand, and then you'll see one in the center. Just jump to avoid it. Pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Next, when he does 2 fires, is sometimes his summon animation as well. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 depending. His animation you just saw there was him shooting fire out of his mouth and then flying down the middle, and that's when he shoots his flame row right down the middle. It's pretty easy to avoid that one, and it goes away pretty quick, so just be careful on that and you will be all okay. I would say those are his easiest moves to avoid. Some of his other moves are definitely a little harder, which you'll see here in a second, like that when he does the fire clap, which is going to put a wall that lasts for 10 to 15 seconds in the middle. It does seem like a eternity when you're doing it in game, so make sure that you are playing accordingly and have 2 people on each side the best you can during that. But don't run across during it because it will insta down you, and try to stay a little bit away from it, as its fire during it will hurt you continuously until you go down, which is pretty quick. As you see there, he goes into the middle every once in a while and slams in the middle. Each one of these moves you are seeing him demonstrate will be unlocked after a ritual circle is complete. The fire circle right there, he does a twist of his hand and you see the fire circle spawn in the middle. It will shoot out in 4 different directions. Just make sure to move out of the way of that, as it is very, very dangerous and will insta down you. You saw that I moved just a little bit too far back into it, and it did insta kill me with that skeleton hitting me, so it was not a good thing that I did. I was not being cautious enough of the direction of that fire, so just make sure you're watching it. Pull to the outside of the map if you need to a little bit, so you can see which direction it's really going to go in. There's this clap one more time. Pretty crazy boss fight. I definitely do enjoy it, but if you can see his moves like I learned now, you can see him doing that fire. You turn around, you just make sure you're watching it. It's going to be pretty easy to get. Make sure you have a good team. I would recommend having 4 players if you are new to this for the revive capability. If you're doing it in solo, you better be real good at knowing his moves, because you got only a few downs before you are down and out. Once you complete all his circles, you're going to then shoot him in the chest, like probably most of you know, and you're going to need to be in each corresponding symbol. There is going to be his meteor strike. It's pretty slow, so just watch out for that. He can redirect it mid-flight though, so make sure he's not changing his direction of it, so keep an eye on that while it's going, or hide behind a pillar to avoid most of the damage. After you're done filling up all these circles, you're pretty much going to be done. You're going to get him to the middle after you fill the talismans and charge them at him. He will go down and you'll be done with the boss fight. So make sure to just follow those tips and tricks there, guys. That's going to be my guide here, and we'll see you guys on a video real soon. Thanks everybody for coming out and checking out the video.